You know that only the wisest monks or the biggest fools don't change. And I guess you and me are none of that. So let's change. And when I say change, I mean this in a way, let's be more open to change and let's be more open to observing the world and to accepting that as the world is changing, we are changing with it. And this is something I noticed a lot of people struggle with because naturally our egos are so stuck up in the fact that we need to be correct and that we need to constantly be right. That if we basically to change is to admit that you were wrong about something. Basically, to change, it's to admit that the old pattern that was constantly repeating within yourself, whether it was your behavior, whatever it is, was something that isn't good for you anymore. And so, therefore, you decide to change it. But that also means accepting to yourself and maybe to everybody else around that you were wrong. And so many people are scared to do this because so many people are so stuck up in their mind and in their ego, being absolutely 100% convinced that what they are thinking is right. And that there is no other way, that there is no other possible way on how to see things than the way that they see them. This is why we have such unaccepting society towards other people's beliefs. This is why we have such an unaccepting society towards whoever has a different political view than you do. This is why we have such an unaccepting society towards whoever is a bit different. Because then we would have to admit to ourselves that the way we see things either first isn't the only way, or second could be actually the wrong way. And it takes so much courage in this society to even be willing to admit that your conclusion could have been wrong, or that the way you saw the situation or the world in general could be wrong, because it's not something that is accepted as well. Because the moment you admit that you were wrong, or the moment you decide to change, there comes this crowd of people telling you that is wrong and you were wrong, and okay, now you're changing, but you were still wrong. And it's so stupid. And this all boils down to the fact that we are so ignorant towards each other, and that we are so ignorant towards what other people have to say, and that we are so ignorant to their opinions, and that we are also so ignorant towards ourselves. Because not changing anything throughout your life or throughout the years, it's the biggest crime you can commit upon yourself. Yet so many people are doing it on the daily basis. They would much rather than admitting that they were wrong, or that the life that they are living, or that the way they view stuff could possibly, if they changed it a bit, it could actually make their life better or make their entire existence on this planet better. They would much rather stay stuck up in their old ways. Because it's always so easier to stay in this little box that you are in, and to see just those mirrors that are inside it and just like watch yourself all the time instead of breaking it and looking out there, you know? A lot of people see life more as a mirror than as a window, not realizing that it can be both at the same time or none of it. So I just want to genuinely encourage you to first be willing to change and be open to change and embrace change as the most natural part of the life, because it truly is. Change is the most natural part of the life. And to learn how to thrive in it. Because there is just one thing that is for sure, and that is that nothing ever stays the same, and everything is constantly changing and evolving. And if you are not willing to accept this principle of the universe, you will stay stuck in the same patterns and in the same psychological hell that you are creating for yourself daily by not being willing to change your ways. And I'm also saying this because in my past video, modern dating coaches are wrong about everything. There are like so many comments, and I'm so happy about it. And I genuinely love to read through those comments and to read through the discussion, because I feel like I can learn so much, and I can see the stuff that I was talking about from a completely different perspective, which doesn't mean that all of it affects me and that when I read another opinion, I'm immediately like, oh, they're right, they're right. No, that's not what I mean at all. But I mean it in a way where I genuinely love to observe how other people see different life situations and how much we can truly learn from other people and from their life experiences. So, yeah, feel free to criticize me on everything I'm saying, and feel free to discuss in the comments because I love it and I love to read through it. And it's genuinely so interesting to see how people see the world from different perspectives. In the end, I don't really know if what I was saying today was understandable, but I wanted to share this because I feel like so many people are constantly stuck up in their own head instead of being willing to look out there and see that there is not only world inside of them but also around of them, and to learn how to connect those worlds and to learn how to change both of them.